I mean, I've also been seeing outside of the tours, you've been like DJing and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like, how's that? Have you just gotten
and you
into
know
that?
what's so crazy? A lot of these times y'all see these videos, I'm walking up to somebody else's like computer. A lot of these fools' computers are just fucked up. Then you look at them, they look at you like, you know what I'm saying? So I just had to say it.
Tell me, is you still love? It's 5 a.m. and I'm drunk right now. Tell me, can we still? 101, I'm in the zone right now. Tell me, am I still?
I'm here with the February Rolling Stone cover star, Travis Scott, and we are at a Brutalist mansion.
This crib is crazy.
And the owner of this house founded Oakley, which you just became the creative visionary officer for.
Yeah.
What about the shades in this house kind of has a similar design to you?
I just think more so it's like raw, you know, a lot of like the bones of the shades are like titanium, you know, super firm and sturdy. You know, I think when Jim built this house, it's like all like solid concrete, which is like, you know, rare, especially in LA. Homes in general, mostly like wood.
Right.
But you know, to find something that feels a little like brutalist and, you know, very like structural, it's fire.
And I can't help but
Feels
notice
like Spy Kids.
it does feel like a spy layer. Like, wait till we get inside. And then you got the whip here too. We got to talk about this.
Ah, man. Nah, it's cool. Lambo US, man.
And I guess we'll go inside and take a look.
Sure.
And you've been here before, right?
Yeah, I came take a tour of it. You know, I've always been into this crib. I always thought it was like insane. I've always wanted to like just check it out in person.
What was your first impression of this motorcycle?
Like what was in his mind when he built this?
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was custom at first, but then you look at it,
Yeah,
and
like
it's
when you
like,
see the seat.
yeah.
It's crazy.
And then as we get further in,
You know how to ride bikes?
I never rode a motorcycle. How about you?
Nah.
Really?
Nah, I never rode a motorcycle.
I feel like that's kind of your vibe, right?
Motorcycles?
Yeah. And then they were telling me that you are really into architecture, like you want to study it.
I want to go to school eventually and study engineering, architecture.
That's cool.
I think renders are cool, but like actually knowing how to make it. So I feel like everyone dreams in a render, but when it comes down to like actually making it, it's never like a reality. I want to just get into, you know, it's not even about the school, it's just about learning. You know what I'm saying?
Are there any schools you have in mind?
I don't know, I've thought about like Berkeley or maybe somewhere in like, maybe like Harvard. They have a good architecture school.
Just calm little Harvard moment.
Yeah,
like,
it's cool.
You know. I mean, what attracts you to architecture, kind of looking at this
I
spot
like
right here?
spaces. I like spaces. I love experiences. I love, you know, things that make you come alive. You know, I think certain things are like inspirations, whether it's cars, whether it's, you know, furniture, shoes, clothes, music, whatever. They're all like a inspiration or such, you know, that can give you like a drive or wake you up to push you to go do something,
Yeah.
you know?
And you're just coming off like one of the biggest tours ever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for that, when you think about set design and kind of creating that experience for the fans, what is that like for you?
Yeah, you know, it's everything, you know. When I make the music, I have like this full vision of like, you know, how I see it going down. You know, to kind of bring it to life is something I like, it's so important to me, you know what I'm saying? And so to be able to do that is like, it's probably like one of the best feelings ever. And then to see it come to life, you know, with the fans and the energy is different.
I mean, you had the one show, I think it was Italy, right, where it caused like an earthquake.
Yeah. I've been hearing about these earthquakes, it's crazy.
Yeah, like what's it like, I guess, on stage when something like that is going on?
You know, it's crazy. I feel you know, you feel the ground shaking, you feel like the stage shaking. You know, sometimes I might go to the back and I'm like, you know, I'm on my own engineers, like, yo, what is going on? Like, I'm on this mountain and I feel like, they're like, yo, bro, it's, you know, it's a metric out here. It's the whole building's shaking.
Yeah.
All right, well, cool, we good.
Out of the tour, you know, what were some of the most memorable shows that you had?
Oh, man. Yo, you wanna know what's crazy? Like, South Korea was crazy.
Whoa. South Korea seems like it would be, though.
Man, that was my first time ever being
word.
there, period,
Yeah.
you know?
I feel like they don't get a lot of American artists, so when they do, they like get hyped.
I don't know, that shit was different. Johannesburg was fire. Europe, the whole Europe, every place was next level. A lot of these cities were dope. A lot of moments are special because what happened, I just think it was like the moments of it all, right? South Korea, I said that just because it took me by surprise of something I was like, I didn't expect. It was my first time being there. Fans were just like going crazy. You know, you would have thought you was in like Manchester or something, or like London or something. It's crazy.
Was that your first time touring Asia at all, or what?
Yeah.
Oh,
Even
wow.
like, you know, China or India, you know, it's nuts. Maybe I'm saying that now because that was like the last thing I just, like the most
Right.
recent. South America, you know, it was insane. Just seeing people coming by the vast and seeing all different walks of lives and people that just like, you know, enjoying the same thing, idolize the same thing as you and other people, you know, it's kind of like, as far as like music,
Yeah.
you know, and experience, I should say. I know I just named 9 different places. That's why it's not fair. We all won. Like if
Yeah,
I could
yeah.
put us all in one spot, all of them.
Yeah, the whole
You
world.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I've also been seeing outside of the tours, you've been like DJing and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like, how's that? Have you
Yo,
just gotten
and you
into
know
that?
what's so crazy? I be seeing these little videos of people try to compilate, like put together these compilations of me like fucking up in a DJ booth. A lot of these times y'all see these videos, I'm walking up to somebody else's like computer and they're asking me to do something that I don't want to do in this time. But you know, I love like, you know, playing music. I know how to play music off a laptop. A lot of these fools' computers are just fucked up. You know, a lot of the command keys aren't working and shit like that. And they kind of like set you up. So you hit a button and it's like, oh shit. Then you look at them, they look at you like, you know what I'm saying? So I just had to say it.
That's funny. So when you're smacking the computer down and shit, it's like,
No. See, that's a whole nother rage. You know, the computer and I, we got a bond, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, it's up and it's just so turned. Closest thing there is just, you know, me and a quirky
something.
keyboard.
has there ever been a time like, do you replace the computer if it breaks?
Yeah, it was one computer was my homie's computer. I was so turned. And you know what's so crazy? It's not even like alcohol or nothing. It's literally just pure energy. Like no one sees the other side of the camera of like the fans and, you know, people just like going so crazy. And I don't like being in a club just to stand and pop out. I don't go to the club to stand and pop out. I love to just listen to music, you know, see what's really going, and you know, that's why I spend a lot of time in Europe. I mean, I've always been into house music and like Crystal Castles. I mean, it's not house music, but it's like Crystal Castles is like one of my favorite. And just the element of like universe or like a DC-10 or some shit like that. Or
yeah.
you go to like Africa or something. Like I went to Kanu when I was shooting Utopia. You know, you seeing like the drums, you hearing like the drums and even just like the choir.
Yeah.
And, you know, you might have a quartet of just like, or whatever, of just like a whole choir of people just like with these chants and seances and stuff. And they're like, you know, it's the melodies and it's just next level, you know. You feel it in your spirit, really. You know, me, that's just like what moves me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I love all the DJs, man. I really respect what they do, man. I feel like people don't really give it up to them as much. I think they really carry the tone
Yeah.
for life.
Yeah. I mean, we're in a brutalist building right now. This would be a good nightclub in Europe.
Yeah, word up, right? Bergenheim. You ever been there?
This is like a Berghain look, yeah. Speaking of, I mean, you know, when you go through a space like this, where does your imagination go in terms of like, you know, do you get inspired just looking at this right here?
Yeah, for sure, man. You know, doing my homes and even just working in spaces that I work in or create in, you know, looking at the walls, the floors, even the finishes. I think like, you know, people come to my crib and see like, you know, detail and like, you know, spasmatic I am about just like the details in the house and shit. You know, it's a lot of people that go in on shopping on clothes, you know?
Right.
I'm a house guy.
I see. So when you came to this place for the first time, what was one of like the first things you noticed?
When I first pulled up, I'm like, yes, I want to live here. Like, I want to live here.
Yeah.
Just the gate, you know, I think the walls, you know, you see it from the street. I love things that go from outside all the way in, right? It's like, if you notice, like the floors go from here all the way out. I think there's something also special about one of these doors, like they go like all the way down.
Oh, right, like this wall even.
Yeah, like wall goes up and like goes all the way down to
Yeah,
the bottom floor, which is probably like.
And the top of the thing it looks like the tile. So it's
Yeah,
like you wouldn't
so
even
you gotta
know.
imagine.
Yeah.
Like, and this shit is solid concrete, bro. You know how heavy this has to be?
Yeah.
It's like a real, like, industrial.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, since you've been back, what's been your main focus?
Man, music. Music and design. I mean, you know, design plays into music, but yeah, music and design, right? I'm in a space where, you know, I'm always trying to like push the sound of like where music is going. I've never tried to put myself in a quote unquote rap box. So I've never like tried to deal with those complications, but taking everything I learned on tour, I've been on tour for like 2.5 years, you know, taking the things I've seen and, you know, trying to put it on wax, take the things like I've heard and try to figure out what that sound is, you know, which isn't like an overnight thing, you know, I wanna just, you know, and then on the other aspect, you know, from a design, from, you know, whether it's household goods or clothes or from sneakers to other things I'm doing outside of, you know, just music, you know, really getting that off the ground. I mean, I spent so much time trying to, you know, build up something and, you know, I feel like it's in such a good space. You just want to just, so excited to just see where it can go. Yeah, and then, you know, I'm mad excited about the artist. That's just like, that's with Cactus Jack, like, you know, Don, man.
He's going up right now.
This kid is like next level. You know, his album is about to be insane.
I mean, how do you balance that kind of having Cactus Jack and then you got, you know, your whole touring, albums, everything?
It's all one, you know, shit, the touring is the music is the touring, you know, it all lives together. I really love being on the road, you know what I'm saying, as far as like from a show aspect. Trying to create on the road, it may not be like the ultimate easiest thing, but you know, I try to surround myself with like the right tools to just be able to, anytime I'm inspired, just to get off. Only thing that can get a little, I wouldn't even say unbalanced, is more so the dialing in into the music. You might get on something like one day, but you gotta go, you know, somewhere the next, and you know, that takes, I wouldn't say take the energy out, but you know, the whole travel, that's just like a whole nother just experience on itself. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, it's like, you lose out on even exploring where you at, you know what I'm saying? Because you're just so into what you're doing, you're not even realizing, like, you know, we in Delhi. Like, so far from home and shit.
Yeah, I mean, we could look around and then we'll check out the theater. I know you like movies too.
Yeah, man.
What's been one of the big movies you've seen this year?
Big movies I've seen this year. I don't feel like there's been no like crazy like movie.
Did you see Sinners?
Oh, I seen Sinners, yes, I seen Sinners.
You boys twins? Nah, we cousins.
You know what's so crazy? I hit Ryan Coogler. Like, I was like, I got so many questions. You know what I'm saying? I really fucked with how, like, you know, he just took the, not even a risk. I don't even call it a risk. You know, he just did what he wanted to do, you know what I'm saying? And really put his foot forward. You know, build with the same people he built with, you know, since day one, and like crack the code, you know what I'm saying? One battle after another was ill.
Yeah, it was cool.
I mean, what else? What you seen this year?
I mean, those are the two for me, honestly. There was the horror movie too, Weapons. It was really good.
Wow, Chaka wow.
Yeah,
Bow.
that was a crazy one.
That was dope. Now, you think if Jordan Peele, because there's supposed to be a Weapons too, right?
Is there?
It better. I mean, what the fuck?
That's true.
The
Yeah,
ending,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
did you fuck with the ending?
It felt a little rushed, low key.
Fucking pissed me off. I wouldn't say it made me mad in like a way. It's just like one of them good things you like in it. You're like, okay, it's about to happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then it's just like the kids running and shit. It's like, no, I want it. Like, you know.
Yeah, you want more.
But it's kind of like, you think if Jordan Peele would have.
If he had done it, it would have been different. Yeah, probably. He has a different sense of like storytelling, I feel like.
You ever seen Natural Born Killers?
Yeah, yeah.
Oliver Stone did that?
I think that was Oliver Stone. I want to say it was, yeah.
So, you know, I think Tarantino was supposed to, it was like, what was the story behind that? It was supposed to be like his script or something. It's like that question. It's like, the movies still feel like it come from that realm, you know what I'm saying? Do you think like if Tarantino would have did it,
It would have probably been a different movie.
Different movie?
Yeah. It would have looked probably more like Reservoir Dogs, which I think was like that same period.
But like Reservoir Dogs had that long, just to like get into the,
Yeah. I felt like they were in the car the whole movie.
It reminded me of like a Chinese movie. Like old school like Chinese movies.
Yeah.
Like, damn, what's that movie with, is it like not Once Upon a Time in China? It was like one of those.
Something like that, yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that.
Got you. Speaking of like Asian cinema, there's also the other one, No Other Choice. Have you ever seen the movie Old Boy?
Yeah.
So it's the same director of Old Boy.
When it just came out?
Yeah, like last week.
Oh shit,
Yeah,
it's
you
in
should be
theaters?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see that today.
Hell
Good
yeah.
looking.
I mean, the movies this year have been pretty good, but you know.
I feel like we don't get enough.
Yeah.
We don't get enough.
Well, now it's all streaming.
Okay, how you feel about the Netflix and I know you're supposed
Warner
to be
Brothers,
into
right? I know.
but since this is like media, I'd just like to know.
We'll see what happens. As long as they keep the theaters open, I'll be happy.
This is what I say to Ted.
To Ted.
It's like, you can't kill theaters, man.
Yeah.
It's like,
like
I love watching movies at the house and shit.
I'm sure you have a different type of situation.
Yeah, but I think people, it's okay. It's cool for people to be able to, you know, if you can't get to the theater, just get it at the crib. It's something about being able to be at the house and your own little comfort shit. You can like, you know, do whatever you want. You can't do a lot of shit in theaters, so you can do whatever you want at the crib. Get, you know, what I mean, chill, kick it, whatever. But the theaters is so important. It's like concerts is so important. You know what I'm saying? Even in me doing like, you know, in-game performing. You know what I'm saying? It was like we went back and forth, not back and forth on that. I was, you know, me and my guy Dave, we talked about it because it was like I love being like
in the physical crowd.
Yeah, in the physical, like, you know,
yeah,
seeing
is it
the
weird
people.
in a video game? Like, can you feel the energy of the audience?
When I did that, I actually, you could feel the vibe. I don't know, for some reason, that shit was just like so turned.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
internet turned.
But I think it was like a different time, right? Everybody was home. It was like one of those modes. But I think, you know, in the same sense, it's like taking away that experience, you know, going to be able to get that surround and, you know, what all the people spend so much time, bro.
Yeah.
Like sound design, even just the visual coloring, the lenses. You know, as people just, you know, I know you got guys here, they're not changing lenses, but you know, it's like so much detail that go into like shooting, you know, a film, and it's like, not saying that the TVs aren't taking that experience away, but the whole like theatrical experience, you need that, you know?
Yeah. I saw somewhere also that like you really care about like physical media, like you still buy CDs. Is that kind of part of the same thing of just like having that physical experience with it?
Yeah, you know, it's so interesting. My first album, Rodeo, you know, it's supposed to come out with the action figure and on a USB. I fought so hard for that. My label actually fucked up the album, put out the wrong cover, all this shit, you know. I wanted the album to be sold in the toy section, not in the CD department. You know, I've always wanted to do physicals, and I remember when streaming came, you know, the idea of physicals was like not around, but I was still into it. You know, I collect vinyls, I collect, you know, tapes, cassettes. You know, I still listen to a lot of music, even when I listen to my albums, Utopia, and a lot of them, all of them really, you know, I master and mix them on cassettes and vinyls, and I play them back on all formats, right? I'm just into it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like they're just a little nerd in me, but.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's interesting too, because you came up right at the end of the physical era, you know?
Yeah.
It was like the streaming really started to dominate, I feel like right when you started to pop out.
Yeah, I remember my first album, I think albums was dictated on like how much the label shipped out to like the store.
Yeah, and now it's just like album equivalent stream or whatever that means.
Yeah, whatever that means. Yeah, but it's cool now. You see people are, you know, dialing back into physicals for whatever reason they are. Yeah.
When you think about kind of the next era that you want to get into musically, does physical releases play a part in that?
Yeah, I think I've always done physical releases. I'm always going to maintain the idea of people being able to have the vinyl and be able to play it, because if they don't have internet,
What are you gonna do?
what the fuck are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know, the question is always, if you was going to go to space, what albums would you take?
Yeah. What albums would you take if you were about to go
Fuck,
to the
why'd I
moon?
set myself
I know
up?
you set it up.
I'll take Man on the Moon,
That's thematically on point too.
but not even thematically. The shit is fucking crazy. I mean, I'm trying to think which one though, because it's like
one or
either
two.
like one or two, which is crazy.
I mean, the first one's that's iconic.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It got like, it's like some of the best songs. I think Higher's on that.
I think so. Higher Day and Night's on that one.
Yeah, Day and Night's on it. But then on the second one, you got like Trapped in My Mind. I might take the second one because it has that, this is our journey
Yeah.
to on the right. That's like one of my favorite songs.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
gonna take Man on the Moon too, yeah.
You kind of came up at the same time as Cudi. Like, I feel like y'all are kind of in the same era of hip hop.
You know, I was in high school, I think, you know, when Cudi was coming out, like about to graduate high school. You know, it's like, it's this guy right now on like, on the gram, all he does is like pull up like old shit from like, I guess like the 90s. And like, people were like, man, it feel like you was in the crib, like, are you my brother or something? And you know, listening to Cudi, it's like a lot of the stories, you know, he talked about, I kind of like related to, you know what I'm saying? It's like growing up in the hood and moving out the hood, and it's still like, even though you moved out, it's still hood shit going on. Like life ain't like as suburbed out to be.
I'm from Houston too.
What part?
I'm from Sugarland.
Oh shit.
And it's like, you'll tell people Sugarland, and it's like, oh, sweet, yada. And it's like,
Oh,
nah,
fuck,
bro.
yeah,
like,
Chase grew up in Sugarland.
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Like, Houston
school you
is.
went to?
I went to Kempner.
Oh, you went to Kempner.
So
what
right
the
up the
fuck?
way, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Because yeah, I remember there was like at one point there was a party where someone was like, Travis Scott's got a party happening.
Yeah.
And then,
What
like,
year you graduated?
I was 2010.
Okay.
Yeah,
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 for sure. Yeah. that's hard.
Because you was a senior when the music shit started.
Yeah. I was making music my whole time, and that's fucking crazy.
Come on.
Mo City niggas is legend, man.
My folks live in Mo City now.
Oh yeah, man. Okay, for sure,
right
yeah.
by Elkins.
Go back to Mo City. I mean, my dentist is still there. I moved my mom and them out of Mo City and shit, but a couple of my homies still stay there. Like some homies I grew up with, but I don't really go back as much. You know what I'm saying? I love to put something out there in the Mo. You know, that shit was like a lot of my great times, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you can understand, bro.
Yeah.
Coming from Sunnyside and shit, and I moved out there. That shit was I feel like Mo City, I tell people all the time, that's probably if you want to ever grow up somewhere, that shit right there is the best place, because you get a mix of everything. All different types of people, all nationalities, all types of psyches. You know what I mean? You got people who feel like they gonna be the superstar tomorrow. You got people who feel like they fucking El Chapo. You know what I'm saying?
You got the real El Chapo somewhere?
Yeah, somewhere you got the next doctor, the next,
NBA superstar.
NBA superstar, it's crazy.
Yeah.
All of them came out of the Mo. It's like Jersey. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like people from Houston too do well in cities like LA and New York, because that diversity. It's you really do know everybody.
Yeah.
You had the store out there for a while, Space Village.
I still got it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
How's
Still
that
there.
going?
It's going good. It's amazing. Just a community spot. Just something I started just to have something in the community. I remember just even when I went to LA, going to New York, you just see the Fairfax of life. You see the Soho, life. People from New York, LA, they got a place where they can just go and kick it. And I've always wished Houston had some shit like that, man. We would have probably just linked up, and it just so much shit probably would have happened if you just would have had a common space for.
That was the skate park for me.
Yeah.
Remember that little skate park in Sugar Land?
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
Let's keep looking.
Yeah, let's do it.
If you could pick a movie to put on right here, what would you put on?
Whew. Death Proof.
Do you have a theater at your house?
Yeah.
What would you say the setup is? Is it similar to this, or?
It's a little bit more theater-ish, but it's more how the couches are will be way back, more screens. Screen is full body.
Got you.
When it comes to living spaces, I feel like it should be I think this is cool because it's an open flow. Mm-hmm. This reminds me of how my kids' mom's city house is set up now, which is kind of cool, that open flow space. When I actually came, I know Jim had these chairs, black leather chairs, but he had the arms were more
oh yeah,
a steel structure that built kind of in his world. But this feels mad comfortable, which I fuck with. You just kind of another bedroom.
pretty cool though.
Oh yeah. Whoa. Now it's I'm re-seeing it.
I like how
because when I came, this was completely empty.
Oh really?
It's absolutely, because I think he kept absolutely nothing in here. And these are here, but I think this is here, because I think this is kind of just a storage spot.
Something.
I believe.
I like how these kind of
By
look
the way, if this comes out before anybody buy, I'm gonna have to reevaluate. We gotta get our money up. We gotta buy this spot, bro. This is crazy.
It's going for 60 mil, something like that?
Yeah. We gotta do
You got that.
I mean, gotta get back in the studio a little bit, but we get there.
You get that.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying, man. You got a lot of basements, feels so next level. Feel like you can take over the world right here, man.
What would you do with this space if let's say you bought this house? What would this turn into?
I will keep it similar to maybe not this furniture, but I'll keep it similar to this social living space, kind of just where hang out.
The kids would love this.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kids will love this. But then that's where the battle comes in. I'm such a big kid. That's why my space is they gotta have as equally as a living space or whatever creative space is me. My kids are just like me when it comes to trying to get off ideas. My son's 3 now, it's about to be 4. And just seeing how I'm dialed in. I took him to the Disney Imagineering spot, and he's his mind was just like going off when he seen like the robots and just like all the new tech and like how it's built. They go to like Team Labs and they see like the floor, and, but you go to Disney Imagineering and they show, they have all this new tech of like things that can, how things can work, with human, you know what I'm saying? And just seeing him like into it.
He's already like a little engineer.
Yeah, I mean, I would love him to be. I just think he's just a big kid at heart right now, just seeing cool toys. But for him to just be unraveling and that'd be dope. But back to the point was just like, yeah, man, I'm such a big kid too. Like playing with my like cool, grown up toys is, I would need as much space.
Do we want to take the elevator up or do we the stairs?
We take the stairs.
Elevator's kind of spooky, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, fuck it, let's do it.
Do you cook yourself or do you have kind of
Man,
vibes?
Yeah, I have a chef. I'm such a picky eater, man. Leave it up to me, I'll be eating the same thing over and over.
Before you came, I was talking about how the summer that Cacti dropped was like, it kind of hit the streets like crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like,
man.
where's the Cacti?
Yeah, no, it's back. I just had to take it back and do it on my own now. Fortunately, I was able to keep it going. Now, we got Cacti Stadium in Florida.
Oh, word.
Yeah, we got Cacti Lounges in Intuit Dome in LA. We got a Cacti Lounge in Barclays Center in New York. We got a Cacti Lounge in Astro Stadium in Houston. Yeah, and I'm doing it all independent. It's like at a point where you kind of gotta like build it up. It's something that no matter how big you are, and with me, I never try to attach something that you might start to the Travis Scott music, you know what I'm saying? It's his own, so it has to find his own growth,
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just, day by day, just steadily growing it.
I feel like it was like almost the way that Four Loko came and went.
Yeah,
it was like
exactly.
Cacti, hit the streets and dip. With the Oakley partnership, what has that been like for you, just kind of getting into a different level of design in terms of what products you're working on?
It's been amazing. You go to campus and you see all the means of like technology and how they put these together, especially with the lenses. And not even just like, glasses, whether it's from visors from, sports. You see the range of like where it can go. And then, me, I see like the runway of where like the apparel and things other than just like from a lens perspective, where things can go. I feel like the brand just has so much there that, it's just ready to just, go off, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you brought back one of the like 90s shapes.
I have like a range, a collection of like Oakley shades that I collected over the years. And I think they did such a good job, even from day one, of just like the way they crafted the lenses, right? The detail, even just the material, coming into like how quick and fast things go now in today's age. The idea of putting so much into material people don't want to do because whether it's costly or the time, we got to commend, a company that still keeps up with that, that realm of touch.
Do you find yourself attracted to like vintage stuff for that reason?
I think people are attracted to vintage things just because I think in those times everything was so pure.
Yeah.
Now things are so vast that it loses a lot of that like specific touch and I guess just like care. It's like you don't want to be in love with vintage, but it's just like that's where the real is, still settling. And it reminds you, like I said, the test of time, you know what I'm saying? I think those people set out to make things last forever. Back then, making history was so important because it was like if you didn't, we wouldn't be able to do the things that we're doing today. So I think for them, it was such a, we got it has to be like this. Or the ones that come after won't have any realm of like a point of reference, you know what I'm saying?
Does it feel crazy when you go, at least for me, when I go on eBay and I'll look up like vintage Nike like hoodie or something, they always put Travis Scott.
I mean, hey man, I fuck with it. It's real. Last test of time.
Did you ever see the movie The Brutalist? Speaking of Brutalist.
Oh, by Adrian Brody?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see it. But shout out to my boy Adrian Brody. Do you know he's a fire producer?
Really? Like music?
Music.
No.
Yeah, makes ill beats.
That's crazy.
Shout out to my boy, man.
All right. I mean, here we are, Travis Scott, little architecture tour.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Hey, man, you ain't gotta go home. But in the words of my boy Jim, gotta get the out of here. You dig?
All right, MTV Cribs, we out.